Hopefully, I can hear me very well. All right. It's the first time I stream on this channel. Oh, yeah. I had to do a live episode because shit fell apart. And now this episode is pretty appropriate. All right, before we get started, make sure everything's all coping steady. On ready. Oh, I hear my sexy voice. All right. All right. Okay. We about ready. We are about ready. No. All right. Live Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Actually, how Deep Talk with Sony Blaze was supposed to be at first, but it happens. Okay. We about to get this episode started. Gotta start from somewhere. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. All right. And let's go. Let's get this started. So, welcome to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, where we get to have deep intellectual conversations with high-minded individuals right in the smoothest city in the world, Rochester, New York. I am your very natural host, Sony Blaze, and welcome to Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Ooh, yes, welcome. Today on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, we decided to actually do this live. Now, before we really get deep into the episode, I want to explain why I'm actually doing this episode live today, especially on New Year's. Well, one, it's New Year's, but I wish that was the main reason why I'm doing this but mainly the main reason why I'm doing this live today and the reason why I'm in y'all faces today, well, mainly it's because, well, when I recorded, Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, because there's certain days I do record Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, because obviously all my shows are pre-recorded, but eventually I do actually want to actually start doing it live again, and I guess this is the perfect opportunity. But anyways, get back to the story. I had, a pre-recording. I recorded it. I was good. I was getting into it. I was like, yeah, man, the story's great. It was a good topic, and I put a lot of passion within the video. I was, putting my hands out. I was having fun. I was just really getting in there. I was like, ooh, I was enjoying myself. Now, like I said, I did some good job and whatsoever. So after that, and the thing is, I don't look at my videos after I record it. I just sit there, record it, finish it, do next recording, finish it, do next recording, finish it, and then leave, and that's it. And then I check it when it's editing day. So it was editing day. So I came up with the video, and something in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I hope this video is fucked up. So, and also I should actually start recording this as well too. I want to make sure I get this recorded. So I sat there. I could probably just download this from YouTube anyways, but back to it. So after I got it all recorded and whatsoever, and time to actually go edit a video, I went into the video, started to do what I need to do, add in all these elements so I could actually do this big edit. Went into the video. Oh, the video quality sucked. I mean, I damn near cried that day. I was like, no. And since it wasn't the recording day, it was editing day. I didn't want to actually record another video. So also, I was about to actually put out that particular video. I was like, you know what, fuck it, let me just go ahead and just do it. So I started to do some editing, and the longer I went into the video, the longer I was like, nah, I can't do this shit. So I decided to just stop it. But then I was thinking to myself, damn, I don't have no content for this Wednesday, like this coming up Wednesday today. And bam, the idea just popped up. I was like, you know what? I might as well go ahead and do a live broadcast of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. And here where I am today. And the perfect episode to do this live broadcast is either you fall or evolve. And as for me, I chose to evolve instead of fall. And that's the thing, that's what you got to do. But we're going to talk about that real soon. What we are going to talk about, and also I did record some videos for next week, so I got that handle as well too. So anyways, so let's go ahead and get into it. So let's go talk about the recap of what we talked about last week on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Last week on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, we was talking about it's the little things that counts, though. Like, really, it's the little things. It's the little small things that people can do for you and the little small things that you can do for people that really counts and what life is and what it can do for you. That's what it is. It all depends on those little things. So what I mean by the little things, it could be as simple as opening up the door for somebody or just saying hi to somebody. Those types of little things. Those little things really do count for a lot of people, and you should actually go ahead and just do that for those individuals. Now, don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. There's nothing wrong with doing something big and huge for somebody, and doing something big. There is nothing wrong with actually doing something big for somebody. You should actually go ahead and do it, every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that at all if you decide to go ahead and do something really big, really grand for somebody. It's very endearing. It's very nice. But like I said, again, it's those little things that count. It's those little things that what you can do for somebody that may need it. Because you may never know a simple smile for somebody may, do some miraculous things for them. Like a simple smile that actually may work. And the thing is too, you may never know those moments that have, because you may never you may never know that those moments that seem small may have a big impact in that person's life. And I have to sit there and make sure. Oh man, I look good in this street. Oh man, I look good in this street. But back again, you may never know those little moments that you give to somebody may have the biggest impacts within their lives. You may never know. And a good way to really think about what I mean by those little moments, let's think about it as like the butterfly effect. If y'all understand what I mean by that. The butterfly effect, what it is it's a thought experiment or something or whatever. It's actually scientific and whatsoever. But to explain what the butterfly effect is basically one way to think of it. If you step on a butterfly, then after you step on the butterfly in the past, if you time travel, then that will cause big ripple effects in the future. But what I was referring to with the butterfly effect. A butterfly from Africa will flap his wings and cause a hurricane down in Florida. And that's how these small things can really affect, people in a big way. Like it can really do. Because, the simple fact, there was a few small things that, that happened to me that changed a big, that had a big impact within my life. But we're gonna go back to that in a little bit. Actually, that's not what we're talking about anyways. We're just doing a recap. But anyways, something as small like ideal that you have can, or any type of deal can actually change your life as well too. Anything can actually sit there and change your life. Like something as simple as like maybe a simple idea of, you walking down the street and going left and then right. That can sit there and completely change your life completely. You may never know what may happen. You might end up finding the love of your life. That little thing. And also, as for me, I tend to look at the little things myself too. I tend to actually, because like me, it's enjoyable that people do some big miraculous things for me, and just like anybody else, any normal human being, I like that. I like that a lot. But especially how I grew up and how I molded myself, I tend to look at the little things a lot of times, like how you do this, how you do that, how you react to this and whatever. Those little things really do goes a lot for me in that as well too. So it is what it is. And if you want to look at the little things and actually have those little things be a big impact, you had to be grateful for those little things in your life. Just really be grateful, straight up, because a lot of times, when we go through life, especially how society is and whatsoever, we sit there, we look at the small little things and we don't really appreciate it. We just sit there and just go through life and just pass it through. And then when we do that, things get messed up. Things get fucked up. And we don't really truly appreciate the small things. And since we don't really truly appreciate the small things, when something huge and spectacular comes up, we won't know how to handle it. Because those small things will turn large within your life. And that's how the universe works. It's just like how a snowball works down a hill. If at first, that snowball will come, from the top of the hill, be like, it's small like a pebble or something. And then the more it rolls down, the more it collects the snow, and the larger it gets, and bigger and bigger until it goes down all the way down the hill and becomes this big, huge snow boulder and shit like that. And start destroying shit. But that's about the recap of last week's episode of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. And if you do want to actually watch the episode, all you have to do is just go ahead and just check it out. It is right on the list. And I gotta make sure this lands on the podcast as well too. I don't know. I might make sure this lands on the podcast. But that's what it about, of what happened last week on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. And I have to say, I am thankful for this little fact that I got a checklist that I want to talk about. Now, before we get deeper into the show subject matter and whatsoever, and I have to say, I actually love doing this live. I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna officially start to do live episode at the end of the month. I'm gonna start doing it every end of the month. Then in the last week of the month, the last Wednesday of the month, I'm gonna do a live broadcast until I get to the point when, if we have enough people, so that I do, broadcast each and every Wednesday. So what I would do for now on, for as long as I can, I'm gonna start to do live broadcasts of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze every last Wednesday of every month, starting now. That's a great way to start 2026. So I want to know, if who's out there, who's watching me, what you're going to do for this 2026. What you're going to actually do and roll out for this 2026. So, anyways, let's get into the episode. Let's get into it. So, today on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, we're getting deep into either you fall or you evolve. That's what we're talking about today. We either evolve or evolve, because a lot of shit happens within our lives. And a lot of times we end up starting to crash and burn. And while you crashing and burning, there's going to be a moment that you be able to choose a path in how it's going to happen to either the rest of your life or a certain point of your life. But it's going to be a moment. And that moment is either you fall and you keep on falling and you keep on crashing and burning, or you evolve and you take whatever that's happened to you and then salvage that and evolve into something higher. And let's go straight up to this though, man. Between 2020 to 2025, it's been some hard years. Let's be real. It's been some hard fucking years for all of us. And I mean, some of us, like, at least, 1% of us, yeah, they had, those years probably been like the best years for them. But for like at least the rest of us, 99% of us, those years been whipping our asses. I mean, life been whipping our asses. Finances be whipping our asses. The universe be whipping our. I mean, they sit there, they come up and just pop, 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 Hadouken, and whip our fucking ass of 2025. And you know what? And I'm gonna use very harsh languages because first of all, on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, I made sure this is not for kids. So if your kids is watching this, if they're underage, you should take them out of the room. It's not for them. But like I said, it's been whooping our ass from disasters after disasters, pandemics, wars, riots. It's just secrets is being revealed. 2020 to 2025, it's been hard for a lot of us, and it feels like we're just running on. At this point, it feels like we're just running on fumes. It's just we doing everything that we can, and especially 2025 for a lot of us. 2025, it went through the ringer through a lot of us. Or I know I probably said that wrong, but it's been pretty tough for a lot of us, and we've been holding on and just trying to keep up our insanity on 2025, especially me, because I went through a lot of shit this year, especially these past 6 months. Oh man, these past 6 months, I went through some shit. But if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing Deep Talk with Sony Blaze as we speak right now, even though I've done it back in the past and whatsoever. But what happened to me, especially actually not just this past 6 months, I mean this whole year. If all that stuff hadn't happened to me, I wouldn't be here with you today speaking to you. So let's first of all, let's give it the Most High is much needed. Thank you. And as well as our ancestors, messy. But straight up, I want to be at this position that I'm in if it wasn't for them. Straight up. Now, after all that pain and suffering that we've been going through on 2022 and 2025, and we down and out and whatsoever, there's really only two choices that we have as we speak right now. And the two choices that we have is we either continue to fall down even lower when it comes to 2026, or we evolve for 2026. Straight up, you can either fall or evolve, and it's your choice to figure out what are you going to do. As for me, I'm choosing to evolve. The reason why I am streaming right now, because I chose to evolve. Straight up, because I want you to think about this right now. Like I said earlier, I had a choice because, I did Deep Talk with Sony. I was about to go, do my regular schedule and sit there, record Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, not even thinking about broadcasting, doing a live broadcast of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, but just doing the regular episode, sitting down, edit it, get a little frustrated, do the work, and then put it away and just let it play out today like always and do the same thing. But then the video quality of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze was pretty bad, so guess what? I had to sit there and choose. I either had to just say, either just say fuck it and put some more work on me and try to do a re-recording, or just say fuck it and don't even do this episode of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze this week. And and what I have built up with me, my mind telling me, nah, we can't really do that even though I wanted to. And the other option is evolve. And I decided, you know what? It'd be interesting if I actually broadcast, for the next episode of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. And I'm here. I chose to evolve instead of just crashing down and continue falling down like the snowball and whatsoever, and to keep and not actually see the position I'm in, because in reality that was a blessing in disguise for me, because it got me to and pushed me towards this moment as we speaking right now. This moment that whether you watch me live or watching me in my past and you watching this right now, it got me to the point to actually do this and actually broadcast live Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. And you can say this is a good practice for me, because I want to do this. I might actually do this for Twitch as well too. I'm actually do that as well too. So eventually I'm probably going to stream on Twitch and YouTube. Like obviously first YouTube and then Twitch, since it's Deep Talk. But I do have a Twitch channel. If y'all do want to, check out me on Twitch, it's Sony Blaze 333. Go ahead and check me out. So that's twitch.tv/Sony Blaze 333. Yeah, I play video games and whatsoever. I stream every day, and once I get enough, numbers up, and then eventually I'm gonna go to my regular schedule program and goes to it. So, anyways, let's go ahead and continue, because I could talk about what me and all that all day long, but we're not just talking about me. We're talking about all of us. So, when it comes down to it, since this is a New Year's and this is New Year's Eve, what we can do, let's make 2026 the year of great change. Straight up. Let's make 2026 the year of great change. Because we already have 5 years of fucked up and crazy shit that's happened to us already. So, now, for 2026, what we should do, we should make 2026 the year of great change. Every time when we look back in the past, when we look at 2026, we sit there and we look at it and be like, yeah, man, 2026 was the year of miracles. 2026 was the year of great change. A lot of shit happens on 2026. We seen this motherfucker just did some amazing shit. We see this girl, she sat there and you did this. And I mean, what I'm saying is, yes, I mean, a lot of times we sit there and say, new year, new me, blah blah blah, all that bullshit and whatsoever. But and we said that from between 2020 to 2025, and guess what happened? It wasn't that great. So with 2026, for 2026, let's make it the year of change, the year that the universe had never seen before. The year that everybody sit there and look back and be like, damn, that was the year shit really truly fucking changed. It's because we need that. We need to actually do something amazing. We need to actually sit there and do something that nobody had never seen before. Straight up. I think it's about time. I think, man, I know you agree with me too. I know you agree with me. So, oh yeah. So, speaking about the years, man, from 2020 to 2025, especially last year, we lost a lot over the years. I mean, we lost a lot. I mean, whew, man, I lost a lot. I mean, lost a family member. I lost a lot of, respect, in both ways. I I lost with some my respects for some people, and some people lost their respect for me, and you know, financial issues, mental issues, some bit of physical issues. It's just all together, we lost a lot of shit over the years, and we dealing with a lot, and it's hard to actually move on. Trust me, I know, I understand. It's hard to sit there and try to pick up the pieces and move on. But what you have to do, you have to sit there and find a way to find those broken pieces and use this to evolve. Straight up, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're just going to keep on falling more and more and more. And with that saying, let's go ahead and let's look on how nature handle things. Let's really look at that as well too. So let's say one of the easy examples that I could say that I want to use is, let's say you're a farmer, okay? Let's say you're a farmer. And as a farmer, you go out and you have some crop. Let's say wheat, whatsoever. Let's say wheat. And you have a big wheat farm, and it looks like you're about to have a decent harvest this year and whatsoever. But over the summer, especially past a few weeks, it's been very dry. It's been very hot and dry. No humidity. It's been very dry, and let's say you probably was trying to save some water, so you didn't water your wheats as much as you wanted to, because how dry and hot it is. Like, as soon as you start watering, like a few hours later, it probably dries up, and then maybe one day, and you're out there, and it's something happened, and something caught on fire, and your whole field just burned. Everything been burnt to the ground, just burnt to the crisp. Nothing was left. Everything was burnt down. It's like, damn. And then you sit there, you look at it, you're in pain, and you sit there, you think about it, it's like, shit, what the hell? How am I supposed to sit there and just do something? Now, I'm talking about nature now. Like, obviously, after that happened, you probably gonna fall in depression and whatsoever. But we're not talking about the person itself. We're talking about, how nature handle things and stuff like that. So after that happens, what will happen? Now, I'm probably not gonna. I don't know, the scientific way of stuff that happens whatsoever, but this is pretty much the gist of it, and it might not happen exactly what I'm about to actually explain, but it's going to be like this. So after everything have burned down and whatsoever, what's going to happen is all the wheat and stuff that have been burned, all the nutrients, the ashes, because like nitrous or something, all the material, all the stuff that was on there, what's going to happen is, even though, yes, it did burn, but how nature works, what's going to happen is, after, it's on the ground, it's going to feed the ground. It's going to feed the soil. And what's going to happen is, it's going to make the soil more fertile and whatsoever. And instead of things just falling apart after it just, after everything burned down, and just go down even worse, what nature does, it actually use what happened, that negative situation, into something positive. It transforms into something positive. What it does is, it feeds that soil and make it fertile. And then what's going to happen is, once new crops start to grow within that soil, it will grow even tougher and stronger, because all the nutrients and all that good stuff that was in the soil after the fire was trapped in there and gave the next crop, the circle of crops, the nutrients it needs to grow even stronger and better and end up feeding a lot of people. And what happened was, and pretty much all the time, nature choose to evolve instead of fall. Just like that. Another thing is just like, how animals and stuff like that, like, with the dinosaurs, let's think about the dinosaurs and shit like that. Now, after a while, not after a while, back then, there was these big, huge dinosaurs that's out there roaming the earth. They was the, the kings of the, of the earth, the kings, the queens of the earth. They ruled the planet, with the iron fist, if they had fist. And they did whatever they wanted to and shit like that. Then all of a sudden, one day, an asteroid came in, boom, killed damn near everybody. Now, there's like today, there's still dinosaurs exist, but what happened is instead of because after the asteroid hit, there was not that much substance. Now, there wasn't that much food and whatsoever, and the planet got colder and colder and colder. So there was no way for them to sustain that big body that they have. And also those little mammals and stuff like that was getting terrorized by those animals, they started to actually start climbing out their little holes and whatsoever. And what happened was, instead of just falling and coming completely extinct, I'm saying it wrong. Y'all know what I mean. Extinct. The dinosaurs, they choose to evolve, and they evolve towards birds, chickens, and whatsoever. And instead of just falling and be pretty much going completely extinct, and as well as the smaller mammals, they decide to evolve and take this opportunity to evolve and change to the animals that you see today. Now, that's enough about that. Now, that's the example that I want to give about how nature handle things and whatsoever. And let's cut this short so we can go to the next segment. But as for me, I'm gonna say it like this. As for me, especially this past year, the year have been kind to me. I'm gonna tell you straight up, the year have not been kind. Even though I look like I'm a very chipper person, very handsome, got these nice little, white hairs going on, looking like I got a lot of wisdom, like, it seems like I'm living a good life. Nope. Hell nah. Life have not been kind to me. It just sit there and slapped me twice. It slapped me with the front hand and the back hand. Pop, pop. Oh, man, because, I've been through a lot of pain. And somebody sat there, took advantage of me. And then now I had to figure out this. I'm not going to say exactly what happened. But you could say it has something to do with finances. We will say that. It took advantage of me. I'm more worried about that pain. And like I said, last year, family member had died. Also, amongst other things, some things happened with, certain individuals. I lost, my wallet. I mean, and things just kept on piling up over and more and more and more. And the thing is, like, like in the past, I could have just easily done the same thing like I did, like how I was in the past. I could have just sat there and go into depression and continue to fall, and continue to get more overweight or just be even more be in a darker place and be more depressed. But no, what I have done, because like I said, the year have not been kind to me, even though it seems like, I'm doing good. This year have not been kind to me. What I had chose to evolve. I chose to, like I said, great example. It's Deep Talk with Sony Blaze right here, right now. Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. What happened with me with Deep Talk with Sony Blaze is that I came in and, like, something has happened, and with a certain, so I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but it was a certain situation, and I will say this: it happened around like the end of July, the beginning of June. We'll say, with that part. So after that happened, and now I was playing with the idea of getting back into Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, but I didn't have the the will and whatsoever. I was slowly getting back to it. I was trying to get into it, but I couldn't even just really get into it. But then after that situation happened, like I said, I had two choices. I could sit there and did like the same thing on like that certain, like when that situation happened to me before. I couldn't have just sat there and be like, go into a dark place and just just be woe is me and shit like that and just say fuck the world. But instead of that, what I have chose is I chose to evolve. I chose to use that that negative energy that was accumulating within me and use it for something else, something positive. So I created Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, or I won't say because it was created, or I should say I continue on Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, and so that's what I did. I started doing Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, and one good thing about it was I did like when I started to go back to it, I did it really good for consistently each and every week for at least 3 months, and then like 3.5 months, or like 3 months. And around the end of it, I was starting to slacking whatsoever. Then after that, some stuff happened and whatsoever, and then after some stuff happened, and then some negative things happened again, and then it got me back into Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. But there's an added bonus as well too. Not just that, I started streaming again, because also that was one thing I had wanted to do, but I couldn't just really get consistent with it. I just stream for a little bit, drop it, stream for a little bit, drop it, and I couldn't get right back into it. But then, like I said, what happened after the 3 months, happened after a month, like, because I had dropped Deep Talk with Sony Blaze for a month. I could see that for a month and whatsoever. And then after that, something happened, and I got right back into work, and now I'm here today. So and ever since then, I stream every day. And also I do Deep Talk with Sony Blaze every week, and I've been consistent with it each and every day. And I chose, and I would not. And what contributed to that was me choosing to evolve instead of just being woe is me and go into like a depression whatsoever. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Whenever something like that happens, you have to sit there and choose choose the ladder, go higher instead of going lower. Because let's be real, going lower is real easy to do. Just sit there and just go low is real easy to do. We could just sit there and be like, just kick people, punch people while we're down there. I mean, I'm pretty sure you ain't gonna do that, but I'm just using that example. But it's real easy for us to go ahead and do that. Why? Because it's easy, it's simple, and plus it helps us to relieve the stressful and negative energies that's within us that have built up. Now, you can continue that, or you could choose the better option. And the better option that you can go ahead and choose is to evolve, go higher and whatsoever, and do something else. Like, say for instance, if you was an artist, when you was younger, and you probably dropped it and whatsoever, and you probably did a lot of painting and drawing, and some negative things happen to you, pick it back up and use that as a way to express yourself and whatsoever. Just pick it back up and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna start drawing again and start doing some art again, and just do that. Just do that. It or become a content creator. Start doing something. Like I do. Just do, or start streaming or something, or create a video game, or write a story. Just do something, because I'm telling you like this. You may never know how far it would take you, because let's be real. Negative energy is a very powerful energy, though. And that's the thing. Negative energy. Energy. When it comes down to it, like when it comes to the bottom of it, it is energy. So it's either you can go ahead and use that negative energy to do something positive for yourself, or continue using that negative energy to make your life even worse. It's your choice. As for me, and like I said, especially how this year was, I use that negative energy to get towards a better place. And I have to say, thank you, Most High. Messi, thank you that I'm here today, because I chose the higher road than the lower road. Now, after all that saying and whatsoever, all that good jazz, because y'all probably saying, oh yeah, that sounds good and all that, but Sony though, man, tell me this: how can we evolve? How do we evolve? And like, what can we do? Well, I'm gonna tell you, to evolve, do something that you've never done before. Okay, so you can go ahead and evolve. Just do something that you've never done before to evolve. Technically, like especially how I'm doing Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, and then with YouTube, I had never done that, and I choose to evolve, and that's what I done. And also streaming every day and whatsoever, and streaming and with the schedule, never done that, but I chose to evolve. And also, and like me for actually speaking and to people and whatsoever, and being a public speaker, never done that before. But I chose to evolve, and that's what you gotta do. If you never sat there and talked to anybody in front, like in a crowd, do that. Choose the higher road. Just choose that to evolve. If you never, or let's say if you have negative energy and you always want to try to, paint something maybe one time or something, paint. If you never done it before, try it. It may suck. I mean, you may be good. It may suck. Don't give a fuck. Do something. Just paint. Do something you never done before, because I guarantee you this. Once you do it, first of all, you're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel relief. You're gonna feel refreshed, because that negative energy that you have, that's out there, that's been circulating, you're going to go ahead and just remove. You're just going to sit there, release it. It's what's going to happen is you're going to go out there and excuse me, I gotta sit there and okay. Anyways, you will feel refreshed, because that negative energy that you use, instead of instead of using it to reinforce more negativity, you started to use that for your betterment. You use that to actually do something great. You actually use that to actually do something positive for yourself. And also, I had to put yes on there because I need to make sure the chat was going down. So the thing is, what the reason why it's like that is because let's be real. Like I said earlier, not too long ago, just now, when you usually whenever we use that negative energy to do more negative things, it reinforces it and it grows larger, and obviously you're not gonna feel good, because it's negative energy, and you're using it to make things worse. But if you actually use that negative energy for something good and positive, first of all, you transmute it. You transmute it. As they say, alchemist. You transmute it from negative to positive, and that negative effect that it would have onto you, you release it, and then not just release it and you using it for something positive. And then after you do something positive, when you sit there and actually done, you look back and you was like, damn, I did that, and you be amazed and the shit that you be able to do. Now, once you get up there and once you actually start to, challenge yourself, do something different, and working on the things, you have to keep consistent when you evolving into something different. Because just like nature, the thing is, once something happens and once you evolve, with nature, it doesn't just stop. No, it keeps on going. It keeps on evolving. So just like nature, you have to keep consistent, and you got to keep evolving into something different, and you got to keep on doing it. It's a everyday practice. You got to keep on doing it. You got to keep on putting in that work, because to order for you to be something different, you have to work on it and consistently to be something different. Because you're not going to be nothing different if you don't do anything. You're not going to be something different if you just did it one time. Let's think about this like as basketball or something. Like you sat there, you playing basketball one time, and the first quarter of the basketball game, you sit there, you just killing it, just whoo, bam, and just throwing, Oh, better example, the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise, that's a very common story. The tortoise and the hare. Just think about that. Like, the hare, we all know the hare shouldn't have won. The hare shouldn't have won. But nah, he was sitting there on his bullshit, sitting there fucking around, and and playing around, and the tortoise ended up winning and shit like that. And that's how it is. So you gotta think about it that way. If ask yourself, if you don't sit there and continue to run the race to your fullest and keep bullshitting around, then you're gonna lose the race. Or if you keep on, if you don't keep on being consistent and trying to evolve, then you're gonna go right back to the same place, and you won't evolve to another thing or something different. And it is what it is. So, in closing, I'm getting out. No, I'm just kidding. In closing, today, on this New Year's, and this new way of episode Deep Talk with Sony Blaze, we was having the conversation of you can when things get fucked up and things happen, you can either continue to fall or evolve. And especially how the years over from 2020 to 2025 have been for us, because those years been hard. We're at the choice, especially now for 2026. We have a choice to either continue to fall and continue to complain about the years and how the years been fucked up and whatsoever, or we evolve and do something a lot more different and higher. And what we're going to have to do coming into 2026, we need to make 2026 the year of great change. We have to make 2026 the year of great change. We have to sit there and be like, all right, when we coming in, we're going to change things. We're going to sit there. This is going to be the year that people will always going to remember. Because let's be real. These past few years, we lost a lot. We lost our minds. We lost family members. We lost, finances. We lost homes. We lost a lot. And we've been going through a lot. And we have to actually put it in. We got to sit there and choose to evolve. And one way to really look at it is look how nature handled things and how they evolved. Like how the farmer, would they, and their crops burn, but then even though it burned, all the ashes would sit there and fertilize the ground. Or how the dinosaurs had to evolve from before they become extinct into birds and shit like that. Yes, dinosaurs are birds now. They haven't really completely gone extinct. And as for me, even though I look great and handsome and all that, this year's haven't been kind to me as well too. This year have not been kind to me. But as for me, I chose to sit there and involve, and that's why we're here. That's why we're here today. And to order for you to go ahead and to evolve to something, different, you got to do something different. Wherever it is, if you never painted before, paint. If you never actually talk to a group of crowd of people, talk to a group of people, a crowd of people. It's whatever. And once you become something different, you have to keep consistent on evolving so you can continue being something different. Because it's just like anything else. If you don't put in the work, you ain't gonna get anything. If you don't sit there and grow, you ain't gonna eat. It is what it is. But anyways, thank you for joining me on this special episode of Deep Talk with Sony Blaze. Now, before we completely end this, like I said before in the beginning of the live, I am going to start doing Deep Talk with Sony Blaze live each and every end of the month. So, next month and the end of January, in the end of January, we're going to do another live episode. I don't know what type of episode we're going to figure out. Live and just, and ready. So be prepared for that. So that's something new, and excuse me, I had a little burp. And as you can see, Deep Talk with Sony Blaze been evolving, and it's going to continue to evolve even more and more and more every day. And I have to make sure I put a thumbnail on this video eventually soon. And that's what we're going to do. And next week is going to be the regular scheduled programming with the pre-recorded episodes. And eventually as well too, I will be having guests. I'm not sure how I'm going to work with it, or with the guests and whatsoever. I might try to have guests comes in every first of the month, and maybe whether live or pre-recorded, we're going to try. So anyways, if you're just joining me for the first time and checking out the stream, and if you was in the stream, thank you very much. If you and whatsoever. But if you're not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button, become a subscriber. Also, I want to hear you. After the, whatever happened to you, all the negative things, what are you trying to evolve to? I want to know down in the comments. Well, anyways, thank you for joining me in my corner of the universe. Peace. Oh boy, that was a toughie, but I can't wait to do this again. See y'all later.